Dave McCall, lazy old guy on the bench, here to talk about snowboard boots. Snowboard boots are actually going to be by far the most important part of the package. You can ride a $2,000 snowboard with a $500 pair of bindings. And if your boots don't fit good, you're not going to have fun out there. I say it time and time again, if you're going to spend extra money on one piece of the package, do it on the boots and you'll get the best return in your riding. Going from there, once again, your riding style and ability is really going to be what is going to determine what kind of boot you're looking for. Say you're an entry-level rider, you're going to be looking for a softer, more forgiving boot. If you're an intermediate rider, you're looking somewhere in the middle range for the flex. And as you go into free riding, you're going to look for something that's definitely going to be a little bit stiffer and a little bit more responsive. And usually, you know, when you see the companies judging the flex, they'll do it on a 1 to 10 scale. So that's going to help you a little bit in deciding, you know, which boot to go with. From there, we'll move into the liner of the boot. Liner on most of these boots nowadays is going to be a heat moldable liner. These liners are going to be very, very lightweight. They don't have much seam work on them, so you got, you know, less weight and less seams touching the foot. The thing about these boots is they're going to custom mold to your foot. You can do it in the store on the heat towers, but if you don't have that option, most of these will be body active as well, meaning that just by simply wearing the boot around, usually I tell my customers for about 2 to 3 hours for 2 or 3 nights in a row, wearing them around will change the fit of the boot. The heat from your foot along with the pressure will back it off and create a cavity mold of your specific foot, which is obviously very advantageous versus you know, older, maybe out of the box generic fit for the masses. You do still see some companies utilizing a sew-in liner, and in high-end cases they work very, very well. You know, with, like, say for instance Salomon boots, they utilize mostly sew-in liners. Some of the most comfortable boots I have, myself personally, I like the heat moldables. They're lightweight, like I said, and they custom mold to your foot specifically. The liner will have definitely a little bit to do with the overall flex of the boot. Simpler liners won't have any heel structure like this built in. It'll just be the material, and that's going to promote a softer overall flex for the boot. As you move up in the liners, you'll see stiffening rods like this one has. Some will extend up the boot as well when you get into the stiffer models. And you know, and that's really going to, you know, help the flex of the boot. From there, we'll move into the internal lacing of the boot. Really simple. Everything nowadays has a quick draw to it. The major differences is whether the lace is on the liner itself or whether you have an internal lace harness, such as this boot here. The least expensive boots, or the cheaper boots, will have the laces on the liner themselves. Really, really easy to, you know, snug up tight. The only downfall of those systems is when you're looking at an aggressive rider. When you have the laces on the liner can move slightly up and down within the outer part of the boot. Whereas when you do this lace harness, it's going to take not only your foot in the liner, but the whole liner and pull it into the back of the boot. This is obviously going to be the best for heel hold or any, you know, intermediate to advanced rider that's looking to get, you know, maximum response from their input. And that's pretty much it for lacing. Like I said, all of them will have quick draw cinch tie on the internal liner nowadays. From there, move into the outer part of the boot. We already discussed the harness, which would be part of that. The outer is really what's going to determine the flex characteristics of the boot. You'll see, you know, the stiffer boots using more, you know, plastic materials, more stiffening agents, where a softer flexing freestyle boot is more going to be your Cordura nylon, your synthetic leathers, your leather, stuff like that, that are going to be soft, supple, and promote a soft flex. Another thing that helps with the flex that's associated with the outer is going to be what's called an articulating cuff. You see a lot of boots going with this kind of construction nowadays. It actually separates the upper part of the boot from the lower part of the boot so that the boot can flex more like a hinge on itself, and you don't get the bunching or the crimping that you would typically get in the instep area. with older traditional boots that have like straight up, you know, construction from the top to the bottom. This really is a nice technology, and I swear by it on my boots. From there, moving into lacing. This is an area where you see a lot of variance within the different companies. The model I have here is a traditional lace boot. Most of the boots still feature this construction. They're nice. I mean, they're really easy to lace up nowadays. All the companies will have open hardware, not eyelets you have to feed it through. So usually you just pull in the center section here, and then this upper part comes pretty quickly. You can, you know, tighten or loosen independent zones on a lace boot. However, over the day, if it's a longer day, they tend to even out, you know, the tension between all of the laces. You know, nice, soft, flexible, comfortable option with the traditional laces. Also, you're going to be looking, you know, keeping the cost down overall too. Moving, you know, from the traditional lace